And I don't know. What do you think? I mean, did I do okay on the comic books? I mean, 20 cents a book, 4,000 comic books, 800 bucks. All right, good afternoon, guys. It's Sunday, May 30th. Yesterday, I got a call from Sean. His mom, Jill, seen my ad up on the Nextdoor app, and apparently they have like 3,000 to 4,000 comic books that they're looking to get rid of. They also have some sealed board games and some other items like that. Apparently the comic book collection was her brother's, who had passed away or something like that. I'll find out fully when I go here in just a minute, but they're looking to sell all of them. I think she said it's all 80s and 90s comics, so we'll see what she's got there. We'll take a look at the board games and kind of see what they have there as well. Should be exciting. It's just down the road. It's not very far. It's 11:45 in the morning, and we're gonna be there right about noon. So let's go check this out. All right, well, I just spent 1,200 bucks on a bunch of comic books, like 4,000 comic books. It's paid 22 cents a piece per book. And I bought a bunch of vintage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures from the 80s and 90s, loose figures, some still with the cards. A Sega, bunch of games, a couple of old Game Boys, bunch of games. Just, I mean, look, my car is this, it's never quite been this heavy. My car has been this full, but never quite this heavy. I have no idea how I'm gonna carry this stuff up 3 flights of stairs. Sean, the guy I bought this stuff from, is a beast. This guy is strong. I could not carry these boxes. These, not too bad. There's 4 boxes in my trunk here in the back. I have absolutely no idea how I'm gonna lift those. Sean just picked them up and carried them out the house like it was nothing. He goes to hand one to me and says, "Here you go." I tried to take one, I couldn't take it. It's heavy. But that guy was lifting it like it was nothing. That guy is strong. Anyway, I have no idea how those are gonna get upstairs to my apartment. We'll see, I'm not really sure. I'll show you guys what I have when I get home. All right, so I am absolutely friggin' beat. Man, I live up on a 3rd floor of my apartment complex, and good Lord, these comic books are friggin' heavy. I really underestimated how much 4,000 comic books weighs. I mean, Jesus. They were in, just to give you an idea, all of these comic books were in 1, 2, 3, we're in these 4 huge trunks. And they were packed, jam-packed full. And there was absolutely no way I was picking up one of those trunks. I mean, I'm strong, sort of, a little bit, whatever, but those trunks, I don't know how much they weighed, but there was a 0% chance that I was going to pick one up and carry it up 3 flights of stairs. So what I did, we also have 5 totes here. I'll get to everything here in just a second. I just want to talk about this part because it kicked my butt. So basically I carried all 5 of these totes upstairs, and then I emptied one tote, took the tote downstairs empty, filled it up, and then little by little carried all of these comic books upstairs. So, all right. Now that I've sort of caught my breath a little bit. So, just spent $1,260 on comic books, action figures, video game stuff, and a Fitbit. So I want to show you guys what I got. Comic book wise, I ended up spending 20 cents a book is what I paid. I think that's okay. There's 4,000 comic books here. You know, I paid them 800 bucks for the books. So It's mostly stuff from the 80s and 90s, but there is some stuff sprinkled in. I have not looked through it all anywhere near completely. I have looked through it a little bit when I was there, enough to feel comfortable making the offer, but I haven't looked through every single book. But while I was packing the crates or the totes and hauling the stuff upstairs, I did see some 60 centers. I seen some 50 centers, and I think I know I seen a couple of 25 centers and some 40 centers sprinkled in here somewhere. So you know, at 20 cents a book, there's 4,000 books here. You know, even if the best I can do is sell them off at $1 a piece, you know, that's $4 grand. So, you know, it's going to take some time to move them. They're not going to sell overnight, but I figure 4,000 comic books, buy them in one go, for 20 cents a book. I think that makes sense. I really do. I think this is going to give me an opportunity to brush up on my 80s and 90s comic books. There's money here. I know there's money here. How to do it, I'm going to figure out. I'm sure making lots and all of that, you know, by type and year and edition, all that stuff is probably going to be the best way. I'm also banking on there being a couple of books in here that's worth some serious money. A couple $100. It'd be nice if there's one in here worth a couple of thousand. Who knows? I'm sure there's going to be some books in here that we're going to send out to CGC to have graded. I mean, there's a ton of stuff in here. I have not, as I've already said, you know, here's a 60 cent book right here. Marvel Comics Group, The Mighty Thor, $3.20. There's one. There's just a lot of stuff. Here's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, not to be resold. Somebody lied to you, my friend. Somebody lied to you. There's so much. I mean, I'll do another video on the comic books as I'm going through them. This is really just to show you what's here. And so here's some cool stuff that came in this purchase as well. So the first deal when I walked in, what I came there for were the comic books. And then they told me that they also had these 2 trunks here of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the 80s and 90s. You know, would I be interested? So, you know, of course, sure. And so after further inspection, they really are. There's one that says 1991. Not sure how good the GoPro is going to. Just trust me, it says 91. So this one is just all loose figures from the 80s and 90s. There's some on here from 88, 89, you know, 90, 91 as you just seen. But they're just loose figures. And then over here in this trunk is all loose figures, but it's all loose figures with the cards, at least the card backs. Let me get a better one here. With the card backs and the accessories, whatever accessories that figure, at least that they still have. So that's pretty cool. Now, you know, there's a couple hundred Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures here. You know, I did not spend the time to count them all. I didn't look them all up. I didn't look really anything up on these action figures. I just offered them, basically I offered them $1,000 for the comic books and the action figures. After some back and forth, initially they said what they wanted was a dollar per book. They have between 3,800 and 4,000 books, somewhere in there. And they said, well, how about $1 a book? And I can't do that. You know, because in my head I was thinking $1 a book is probably on average what I'm going to get for them. On the other side, I mean, these are 80s and 90s. These aren't, you know, 60s, 70s books. So, you know, I don't think
these are the thousands of dollars books. I think these are the hundreds of dollars books. So I didn't feel comfortable being anywhere near the dollar per book. I did my own research before, of course, going over there, and right about a dime a book is really where I wanted to be, and that's what I came out with initially. I told them I'm going to feel comfortable at 10 cents a book. You've got, we'll just say 4,000 books to make the math easier. Although with a dime anyway, so you got 4,000 books. How about 400 bucks for the books? And then, they looked at each other a little bit and talked a little bit. And then he came back with, how about a quarter a book? I think that was, $1,000. And I said, well, okay, let me, that's better. That's a lot better. That's much closer to a number that I can work with. $1,000 is a lot different than $4,000, right? So that was once they were able to come down to a quarter a book, I knew we were going to be able to make something happen. So I came back with let me give you 20 cents a book. That'll be $800 for all the books. And then I'll give you another 200 bucks for all the action figures. I don't know what's there. I don't know if there's anything really good in there. They might be all $10 action figures. I don't know. But there's got to be a couple hundred of them here. So even if they're only 10 bucks a piece, right? I mean, that's $1,000. So, but I think even with those, with some of the cards on them and the accessories, I mean, there's bound to be some $30, $40, $50 action figures in there. And of course, there's going to be some, $4 and $5 action figures in there. But so I felt comfortable offering them $1,000 for the comic books and the action figures. And they agreed. They said $1,000 was okay. And I thought that was it. And then they said, well, do you want to, they had some sealed board game, and a couple sealed board games. So they took me upstairs to a bedroom, and they showed me a couple board games. And they were brand new factory sealed, but they were only selling for $25, $25. One was people were asking $40. It was a South Tampa Monopoly game. So a cool game, but it just wasn't something I was going to be able to do anything with. But in the closet, on one side of the closet was some sealed board games and some stuff that they were showing me, but in the other side of the closet was this stuff, right? I seen a Sega Genesis box just staring at me. And I said, well, hey guys, what about the Genesis? And they said, well, didn't really think about that, but would you be interested in buying it? I said, well, absolutely. So they have it's in there. I don't want to get it out, but I mean, it is in there. It's just a Sega with 2 controllers and a couple of, you know what? I don't think the power cable's in there. Anyway, it is in there, the console itself. And then, there's these, 8, 9, 10 games. Nothing great here in terms of games, Family Feud, Wheel of Fortune, Toy Story, Clue. I mean, you can see them. Nothing spectacular. But they are games, right? So I'll be able to test the console, and then I'll be able to, and it has the box. That's cool. So, I'll be able to lot all that stuff up. And then in a bag in that same closet was this bag. And he kind of pulled this bag out and said, oh, I got a couple of Game Boys. And my ears perked up, and I said, okay, that's cool. What you want to sell those? And he said, sure. So, he has 1, 2. These are the original Game Boys. Game Boy model DMG-01 from 1989. Just the original Game Boys. I'm not sure if they work, but the battery compartments are clean on them at the very least. So I did look at that. So it's not all beat up. It's not rusted out. And both of them look that way. And then they had the Game Genies on them. I know these aren't, these are 10, 15 bucks. They got the books in the back of them, so that, increases the value a little bit. So these might be, 20 bucks a piece for the Game Genies, and then these here, 50 bucks or so. And they had the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they had nine games, and these are a little better, a little bit anyway, than the Sega games. And they got Mortal Kombat 2, and here's Zelda, F1 Race, Batman Forever, Super Mario Land, Mortal Kombat the original, Kirby's Dream Land, Tetris, and Quicks. And they got they have all the manuals for them too, so that's cool. That'll be nice, right? So that's cool. Then they had this Sega Genesis Nomad, right? This guy here, model number MK-6100. Hopefully that zooms all right. It's hard to tell when I'm holding this. Sometimes I watch it back and it is zoomed. It looks better like on my computer than it does actually when I'm holding it here in my hand. So anyway, this guy is interesting because I seen a sold listing as I was checking it just here a couple minutes. I didn't look really any of this stuff up as I was there. A couple of comic books, but that's really it. Never really seen one before, or I'm sure I did when I was younger, but it's been a long time. These are selling just for parts for right around $200. So even if this thing doesn't power on and doesn't work, I mean, that's a $200 bill, roughly. And it's got the battery packs, the original battery packs, and the charger here. If it powers on, you know, put a game or two with it, and if it works, I mean, these things seem to be selling for, you know, $300-400 legitimately all day long. So, you know, that's cool. And then so I was up to $1,000 with the comic books and all of the action figures. We go upstairs, we look at all of this stuff, and I offer them another $200 for all the video game stuff. It's just, well, how about $200? They said, okay, great. They take it. They have another box that's got like 20 or 30 Nintendo DS games in it, and a Nintendo DS and some other accessories. But the games are all, you know, they're like they're Family Feud, and you know, just not bad games, but you know, they're not the highly desirable games. They're just kind of the fluff games that you add to lots just to kind of move them. But anyway, so they have that there. That wasn't the brothers. That was, I think, maybe a sister's or something who is still alive. So they're going to reach out to her and see, you know, hey, do you want to sell that stuff, and reach back out to me later. So that was the $1,000 for the comic books and the action figures, and then another $200 for the video game stuff, right? So go downstairs, like, okay, count out $1,200. And then it's like, oh yeah, well, hey, we have this Fitbit. It's brand new. It's factory sealed. It really is. It's never been opened. The mom goes, yeah, I think I paid like $230 for this recently. And, you know, you know, give me $100. I'm like, okay, well, let me, so I did scan this. It's a Fitbit Versa 3. So I scanned it on eBay, and it seems to be selling for about $120, right? That's kind of what it was going for. So I showed them. I'm like, hey, look, guys, it's only selling for $120. You know, it's just kind of one of those things. If you want to get rid of it, I'll give you $60 for it. I'll take it. And so they took it. So I gave them $60. So that means I'm into all of this stuff for $1,260. For everything, all the action figures, all of the comic books. And again, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 totes filled right there that aren't here. And these should be in the 4 trunks, but I had to carry them upstairs, and it was the only way to get them up here, which was a friggin' workout. Anyway, so recap again. Sorry, I got sidetracked. So we have 4,000 comic books. We have, I don't know, a couple hundred Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures from the 80s, late 80s and early 90s. We've got a Sega Genesis original 2 controllers with the original box. We've got, what here, 10 Sega games. We've got 2 Game Boys, 2 Game Boy Genies. We've got 9 Game Boy games, and they all have the instruction booklets. We have a Genesis Nomad, 2 battery packs, and the charger, the original Sega charger, and a Fitbit Versa 3 for $1,260. Think I'm going to do all right. Think I'm going to do okay. It's going to be some work. The comic books are really going to be the area. I mean, the video game stuff I know really well. The action figures, I kind of know okay. I know I'll do just fine on those. Really, the question mark is going to be the comic books. I don't know the comic books from the 80s and 90s all that well. I know other ones okay. I have at least have a better idea. Ones from this specific time period, I'm not really sure which ones I'm looking for. So anyway, you know, if you know these things, you know, drop me a comment. Let me know what I'm looking for. They're 80s and 90s comic books for the most part. All kinds of different titles. So if you can think of anything in particular that I should keep an eye out for, you know, if there's that one specific edition or those 2 or 3 certain ones that everyone's looking for that are worth big money right now, you know, let me know. And I don't know. What do you think? I mean, did I do okay on the comic books? I mean, 20 cents a book, 4,000 comic books, you know, $800. This was my first big bulk comic book purchase. I've bought comic books in the past, but never this many. So, at one time. So, I hope I did okay here. I think I'm going to do all right. But, you know, drop me a comment. Let me know. And if you have any advice on how to process them, how to make the process a little quicker. Because, again, I mean, it's just me, right? And I got 4,000 books here. So, if you have any advice at all for a relative novice, if you can help me out and just say, hey, you know, do this or try that, or you can do this to make the process a little bit easier, or, you know, any ones from this specific year, don't even look at them, or, you know, whatever. So that would help me out. That'd be cool. And let me know how I did. Did I do okay? Or did I just get taken to the cleaners here? So anyway, guys, really appreciate you watching. I'll make some more videos as I start going through the books and show you guys a little bit more of what's actually in here, because I don't even know myself. So anyway, y'all, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day. See ya.